Hey everybody, thanks for dropping by. Welcome to a little show and tell of granny square blankets that we thought we'd put together for you guys. If you're wondering what to do with all the granny squares that are piling up around you, especially if you're busting through your stash like I am this year, then we thought we would show you some of the blankets that I've made over the years and talk about what went into making them, what inspired them, and some of the ways in which you can just use up different sized or different colors granny squares together. And before I start, I want to just say it is perfectly okay if you have something like this. This is a collection of random granny squares. There's quite a lot of them here, and this isn't all of them. It's okay to make up a whole bunch of granny squares, especially if you just want to keep your fingers busy when you're sitting around watching television or maybe you're on the bus. This is a great little stash busting project. I have made dozens and dozens and dozens of the same colored ones that are different colored or slightly similar, and I don't always have a project in mind. I've got scads of these ones. I've got them in pink and red and purple and orange, and very likely I will turn them into a baby blanket at some point down the road. I just haven't met the little person that's going to get it yet. But it's okay to have piles of them lying around. This is what you can do with all of those granny squares if you're ready to put them all together. This is what I call my Licorice All Sorts blanket. This was a planned colorway blanket I did years ago. And each of these squares was Bernat Super Value. So I think I used 2 skeins of each color to make this blanket. And this is roughly a twin-sized blanket. I wanted to get that round-the-world quilt pattern effect going, so I planned the use of the colors and where I would put the actual squares in the pattern of the blanket. And I kind of joined it in a strange way too. Rather than using a solid border or a solid attachment, I chained in between them to join them together. And I like the way that looks. This isn't exactly the kind of joining I would recommend if you were making a blanket for little people, because those gaps between the squares are quite large and little fingers can get caught up in them. But I love the way it looks. So this is definitely a blanket that is comfortable and cozy enough to snuggle under on the couch on a cool evening. But it looks really neat too, and it's draped over the couch or the chair or my quilt displayer. And this is an odds and ends blanket. I also went through my stash and pulled out all of the bigger, fluffier, oddball bits of yarn that I really didn't know what else to make with. And I sorted them all into different little color piles, and I started making granny squares with them. I love these granny squares. This is such a pretty quilt, and it has a real homey, homespun, Christmassy, cozy kind of look to it. This blanket is also a good example of what not to do, and allow me to explain. You'll often hear me talking about making sure that you don't mix your yarn fibers. If you're starting with acrylic, finish with acrylic. If you're starting with wool, finish with wool. This blanket is made using acrylic for the squares, but I had all of this strange balls of yarn sort of left in the stash. I didn't know what they were. They'd been given to me. I wasn't sure if they were acrylic or wool or what they were, and I made this blanket back before I really thought a whole lot about the fibers I used when I put together a project. So I ended up putting the whole blanket together and bordering it with a wool instead of an acrylic. And the first time I washed this blanket, as you can see, the wool shrunk on me and the acrylic didn't. So the whole blanket, while still quite usable, is now sort of cinched along the edges because the border shrunk and the rest of the blanket didn't. So that is a cautionary tale of why I don't like to mix my fibers. This is an example of a stash busting blanket. Every once in a while I do pull out my stash and I evaluate what I have too much of, too little of, and one year I had a lot of blue yarn. So I pulled it all out of my stash. It all happened to be acrylic, which was great, and I started making solid colored granny squares in shades of blue. There's a couple squares where I ran out of one blue and just finished it off with the next because I wanted them all to be the same size. And then of course I had a lot of that sort of turquoisey blue left over, so I put the whole thing together using it. I love this blanket. It's one of my favorites. It's really warm, it's cozy. I love all the shades of blue, and when I spread it out over top of, say, the back of the couch, it makes the whole room feel kind of cool. So that is a neat example of stash busting in a monochromatic way. This is another version of a scrap busting blanket. This is also a granny square, but it's made using two yarns held together at the same time. And you'll find that technique in our scrapgan video, where we go into it in much more detail. We'll put the link to that in the description box down below too if you want to check it out. I love this blanket. I love how all the colors came together and it looks like a real party. It's great fun for a kid's blanket too. It whips together really quick and all of those bright colors are really, they are inspiring. They make you think like it's summer or spring or maybe there's a circus going on. I love the way this worked out, and this is a really fun way to use up those tiny little scrap yarns so that you don't end up having to toss them out. They can all have a purpose in a pretty granny square. The year I met my husband, I made him a big granny square blanket for our first Christmas together. He loves blue and red, and my grandmother had just given me a whole bunch of Lion brand homespun yarn. It's that slightly brownish stuff you see in the centers of all the squares. It's got red and blue hues in it. So I made big multicolored striped squares that alternated red and blue, red and blue. I probably used about 1,500 grams of yarn altogether. The blue and red is Red Heart Comfort, and it worked very nicely with the homespun Lion brand yarn, even though they're slightly different sizes, because I used a large hook. I used a size 7 millimeter hook. Even an 8 would have been good for this project too. And it doesn't matter that the yarn was slightly different sizes, but they were both acrylic, so when we wash this blanket, it moves very well together, and it's held up pretty well over the course of our time together. So what do you do if you're at a discount yarn store and you clean out a bin of greens and you have a mountain of it when you get home? Well, if you're like me, you sit down and you start making really large granny squares. Each of these granny squares is 16 inches across. They're really big. They're super soft, and I made them using a 7 millimeter hook. When I finally finished stitching them all together, this entire afghan is approximately 10 feet by 10 feet. It covers a king-size bed from floor to floor to floor. It's only something I bring out in the winter, and if I'm going to cuddle with it on the couch, I have to fold it in about 4 before I can keep it from falling off. I really love this blanket. It's one of the first big granny square blankets that I made a long time ago, and it's held up very well, I think. I love the use of the really big squares here. Making really large granny squares is sometimes a lot of fun because you can go through a lot of yarn, but you can also work on a really large blanket project in a modular way. I sat at lunch at work and made each of these squares in no particular rush at all. And I love this blanket. It's a fun way to incorporate really big squares and show off a really big striping of a granny square. In 2016, we made a calendar blanket based on daily temperatures. This is a temperature block a day for every day of 2016. I chose to make really small granny squares. Each granny square is only 2 rows, so this isn't quite a micro mini granny square, but it's pretty small. The small granny squares allowed me to not use up too much yarn at a time, but still allowed me to make a nice colored block that was not going to blend in too much with the rest of them. So you ended up with this really nifty pixelated effect, and I absolutely love this blanket. It's one of the prettiest ones I've ever made, and that is just a small mini granny square. And it looks so different than some of the other granny square blankets I've made. I did this in the join as you go method, which gives me tiny little spaces between the granny squares, very similar to the spaces in the granny squares themselves. I love the overall effect, and it was a lot of fun to make. And there you have some of the granny square afghans that I've been making over the years here. They are all made using the same basic granny square pattern, but they look so different, from the very small and pixelated look to the super big and multicolored. I love the granny square because it's such a fun way to bust through a stash, and you can get an unending number of different looks using just that basic pattern. Anyway, thanks for dropping by and spending some time with us here on the Jayda InStitches show, and we will see you really soon. Take care!